All right. Well, this is very exciting. I'm so deeply honored to be with you guys tonight. Um, Today, wherever you are in the world, my name is Val Salidkar. I'm the co-founder and director of Psycho-Spiritual Institute. I'm also a board certified life and leadership coach, as well as a psychosynthesis life coach and senior trainer at Psycho-Spiritual Institute. So I want to welcome all of you. And I know we've already been having some fun in the chat box saying hello and where you're from. And those of you that are popping in now, please say hi. There's Erin and Jessica, and tell me where you guys are tuning in from. I know we have Nova Scotia, Chicago, California, and northern Minnesota, Denver, Colorado, Ohio, Connecticut. Oh my goodness, there's Indiana with Mary Ann. Yes, Utah, beautiful, beautiful. Denver, Colorado, and Zach. Oh, it's so good to have you here. I know you guys just moved to Colorado. This is great. There's Candace. Oh my goodness. So let me just say before we even get started, my heart is just on fire. Not only because of the material that we're going to dive into tonight, but also just seeing so many beautiful, familiar faces. We have some people from our team at Psycho-Spiritual Institute here tonight. We have alumni here. We have current students here. And we have a ton of new, beautiful souls tuning in, all of you guys. So wow, and welcome. Oh my goodness. Feels really good to be here. Yeah, it's also so nice to get a sense, feel the presence of our world in this room in all ways, you know? So I want to dive in because there's a lot that I want to share with you guys tonight and today, wherever you are. First of all, just tuning in to where we are right now in our world, because, and I know you guys feel this, I know this is probably what's bringing you here tonight, is that there is so much that's changing in our world right now. And life feels fragile. I think that might be a word that we're holding in so many ways: vulnerable, fragile. There's been a lot of loss. There's a lot of so much that, suffering that's happening on our planet right now. And we're all feeling it. I'm holding this excitement for the work that we're bringing tonight. And I'm also holding a lot of heaviness and weight in my heart for what we're holding collectively in these times. It's all right here. It's here in our personal experience. It's here in our collective experience. I think in so many ways, life is inviting us into a deeper intimacy, to really lean in, to ask the deeper questions about what really matters. And in so many ways, to awaken to our role, our soul potential, our vision for what else can be possible for our lives and our world. We know it's time for change, and it's time to embody and become that change. So I want to share a quote to start us off tonight from one of my mentors, who is a wilderness depth psychologist. His name is Bill Plotkin. Some of you may have heard of him. And this is a quote from him. He says, "It is the responsibility of all capable individuals to help make their culture whole and vital. Those who are most capable in this way are those who are most whole in themselves." Take that in for a moment. Those of us most capable of leading our world forward are those who are most whole. Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling it. Awakening to our leadership in this world means awakening to who we are as whole, resourceful, and capable human beings. Awakening to and honoring our strengths, our gifts, living aligned with our values and our sense of purpose, and also to the work that gives our lives meaning, that allows us to make a difference in some way in the world. We're all being called. We're being called to pay attention and to participate in a deeper way. And so the first step is answering that call. When we work with our inner obstacles and when we reconnect to our deepest sense of self as interconnected with life, we become more whole. We become more awake. We become more alive. And from that space, we can clearly and courageously respond to our lives, respond to these times, and do it in a way that honors who we are and meets the world's needs. So when we can do this, we respond with more compassion, both for ourselves and for each other. We have more resilience, more love, more context in our lives, and therefore more conscious action. So I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you have had what you might call some kind of spiritual awakening or a paradigm shift that has allowed you to know yourself more deeply and desire to know yourself more deeply? If that's you, say me in the chat box. Yeah, or raise your hand. Yes. Yeah, you're feeling it. Beautiful. And how many of you have also experienced your relationship to the world deepening? You know you're part of it. You feel ready to respond to this call to help our world feel more whole. If you're ready and you stand for change in our world, put we in the chat box. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. I just want you guys to take that in. All of these, me, here I am fully present, and all of these, we are here collectively together, awakening to our world, awakening to something more. Yeah, Dominic is always here inside of us, right? So I want to acknowledge you guys. I want to acknowledge all of you for being committed to be here tonight. Something inside of you said yes, and you showed up. And that is powerful. So take a moment right now and tune in. Take a breath. If it feels good, you can close your eyes. Just take a moment to become present. Bring your hands to your heart if that feels good. I want you to tune in as we're getting started to what brought you here tonight, today, this moment. What brought you here today on this call? Why are you here? Maybe something inside of you feels ready. Maybe there's some kind of pull or a longing or a knowing. When you feel like you know what that is, I'll invite you to put it in the chat box. See if you can put a word or a phrase to that. Maybe there's a sentence. To learn, yeah, for the love of life and soul. So beautiful. Beautiful, Michelangelo. Yes. Confidence and purpose. You're ready, Anna. Yes. I crave to learn everything I can from this subject. Beautiful, Rona. To live into my potential, to heal and move forward, to help others. These are so beautiful. Yeah. So just feel into that, you guys, as these are flying into the chat box. Take them all in, not only your own calling, but look at these other callings that are coming through here for my community, living my purpose, igniting that holy fire. Yes, yes, exploring and expanding, becoming a better version of myself. All of these things. They're not just alive in me, they're alive in us. Can you feel it? Yeah, truth and connection. So I want to invite you, as you're taking all of this in, to make a connection to not only all of what's inside of you, but what's happening collectively here. And allow that to fuel your commitment to yourself, to be here tonight, today, fully, to receive these teachings and the gifts that are here for you in this moment. We're going to go deep. We're going to have a soulful class today. All right. And so my prayer here is that it may serve you in your deeper awakening and empower you with more awareness and more confidence for your work in the world. So I want to give us just an overview of what we're already diving into and already feeling. We're going to be together for about 90 minutes in total tonight, okay? And one of the things we're going to lean into as we become more connected to who we are, the vision that we hold for our lives and our great work that's calling us into the world, is to explore a wider perspective of self based on an eco-centric identity, an ecological self, a way of seeing ourselves not only as separate, unique individuals, which is also important, but also as interconnected with our world, because this understanding inspires us to participate in greater ways. So we're going to dive into that. From here, we're also going to create clarity around how to work with inner obstacles that get in the way of accessing our inner leadership potential, our ability to lead our lives, because this is where true leadership begins, from the inside out, right? Getting clear on who we are at the core of our being and understanding how to work with and how to integrate the parts of us that can limit us, so we can learn to resolve those inner conflicts that arise when we are ready for change and growth. We're going to dive into that. We're also going to connect with our essential self, the wise inner self who knows the deeper truth about who we are. And this is also where our confidence radiates from that inner self. So I'm going to share a unique perspective on confidence that's going to transform you deeply in the way that you show up in the world, so that you can become soul-centered and magnetic in your life and in your work. We're also going to explore resilience. What does it mean to be resilient from a deeper perspective, and why that's incredibly essential in these times? So we have a lot to cover, and this work is going to open a door toward deeper psychological and spiritual maturity and leave you feeling inspired with possibility. So if that feels exciting, if you're ready to embody more of who you are, if you are truly, truly ready, please give me a yes in the chat. Yes, let's bring that yes energy in right now. Beautiful. Yes, 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 yes. So good. So good. Okay. I also want to ask your permission for something, a permission to share, because at the end of this class, I have an amazing opportunity for all of you who want to go deeper into this work with me and with us here at Psycho Spiritual Institute, becoming part of our community. So if that also feels good, if you're curious, if you want to hear about that, please also give me a yes in the chat box. Total yes. Beautiful. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. So good. So exciting. Okay. So I'm going to share some teachings, and I'm going to also make this experiential tonight. Okay. So you can get some ahas throughout our time together. It's not just going to be neck up. We're going to also do some work. So please make sure you have a journal. If it feels good, I have my candle here. I invite you to light a candle to really bring in some sacred space, some beauty, some illumination into our work for today. So if that feels good, please do that. This work is for you, my friends, and this work is for our world. So let's hold that in our hearts as we move deeper into this tonight. So I want to begin right now by sharing something that we refer to as the 4 awakenings, how we move into deeper and deeper awakening in the world. And the way that I'm going to do this is by sharing a bit of my story and how I moved into these 4 awakenings in my life, which is why I'm here today and why we're here today, how we all affect one another, right? So a little bit of my story. In my early 20s, I had a huge, incredibly huge heartbreak. And I had a partner at that time who shared with me some videos of elephants and other animals behind the scenes in a circus being abused. He also showed me videos of factory farms and animals being experimented on, and you can imagine. And it just blew my mind. It blew my heart right open. I had never thought about this before. It wasn't something I was aware of. It shocked me. In so many ways, it shocked me. And I realized from this experience that whatever was happening completely moved me into this dark night of the soul, where like the things that I thought and the way I was living started to crumble around me. I knew that I couldn't continue living the way I had been living with this new information, but I didn't know what tomorrow looked like. All I knew is that something was happening to me. I was awakening to a deeper sense of my spiritual values. I recognize that I deeply care about justice. I want to live a life of compassion. I want to support other beings from the experience of suffering. I want to create healing in the world. All of this sense of equality, sense of freedom for all life started arising in me. Something happened where it wasn't just about me anymore. And I woke up from myself, my everyday self, into a deeper sense of my soul, my path, my purpose, what gives my life meaning. Something deeper opened up in me. And my next step and my path started to appear before me in a whole new way. I started studying ecology. My sense of self didn't just stop at other sentient life, but it started to expand into my connection to this living planet, my part of the whole living earth. I started studying the work of deep ecology. My master's degree is in ecology work. And I even became a professor at Florida International University teaching ecology and deep ecology. I became an advocate. I felt my sense of self expanding as part of the earth consciousness, my ecological self. I even became a ranger in a national park. For me, I deepened into nature and the human psyche. Who am I in relationship to the world? This is the work of deep ecology. How do I find myself back in the web of life? And by recognizing that I'm part of the whole, how does that change how I show up? I care more deeply when I am that. It's part of my larger body. So I had this third awakening into myself as earth. But it didn't stop there, because as I'm doing all of this incredible work, being a ranger, teaching ecology, taking people into these deep ecology embodiment experiences, facilitating, coaching, doing all this work, as an ecologist, as a deep ecologist, I then realized, my God, the earth is not just compartmentalized and sitting in like, what else? The earth is also part of something so much larger, which means I'm also part of something so much larger. 13.7 billion years of cosmic unfolding. I started studying cosmology, the universe story, the science of who we are and how we came to be, the story of our time, from something smaller than a grain of sand. The mystery of the universe gave birth, exploded, the great flaring forth, the Big Bang, however you want to call it. Something exploded. The universe was created. Other planets, right? Our solar system, the earth, single cell, multi-celled beings, all of the life that we've come to know, even humans, all of us. I realized as my sense of self expanded into this universal understanding, into the great mystery, that the universe is not something outside of me. The universe is not outside planet Earth. We are in the universe. The universe is who I am. I am the mystery that gave birth to the universe. And so are you. This was a huge, huge awakening for me. And what happened along with that awakening is that I felt incredibly empowered to take part on behalf of life. What are the gifts inside of me that need to be shared with the world? I was born for a reason. There's an intelligence that I don't understand fully because it's this great mystery, and I love the uncertainty of it. I love the mystery of it. But I know that there's a reason I'm here. And so what I got as my sense of self expanded, and I'm doing all this outer work out here, like, oh my God, what really needs to happen is that we need to fundamentally come back into our inner world. So my work became about helping us remember who we are at the core. Because all that's happening in our world are symptoms of a much bigger issue, an issue of perception, that we believe that we are separate from the world. And what I know that we need is a core paradigm shift. Because whatever it is that we do, whether we're a mother or a father or a teacher or a coach or a CEO, we do it differently when we remember that we're part of the whole, when what we choose matters. And I realized then that my work was within. And so what happened is that it led me to this incredible framework of psychosynthesis. Actually, psychosynthesis was, some of my mentors at the time in the work of ecology had their roots in this work of psychosynthesis. And I'm like, what is this? Psycho what? What it is an incredibly evolutionary framework, the most comprehensive transpersonal psychology framework that I have ever experienced. It gave language and roots to everything that I just shared with you, to all that I had been experiencing, to all that had awakened in me, and to my sense of soul purpose, which is to help us also awaken into that core understanding of who we are, because I know that that fundamentally changes everything. So this is what happened for me. And when I discovered psychosynthesis, it transformed me completely. It deepened me. I saw the work that I did with my clients change and shift and deepen, lasting change. My students, oh my God, if I can just tell you like what they say on graduation day, all the people that I work with have experienced profound transformation. Those of you who are alumni and or current students, say, like, let them know, say something in the chat right now about how this work has shifted or changed or inspired you. Whatever's in your heart, just speak from that heart. But it has been so powerful and transformative. So I created, along with my partner Alyssa, Psycho Spiritual Institute, based in this work of psychosynthesis, as well as the ecological, global leadership, and this profound invitation into action. That's the work we do. And I'm going to tell you about psychosynthesis in just a moment. What I want to highlight first, though, are these 4 awakenings that just happened. I woke to myself in my everyday life. Many of us are here. Then I realized that there's something deeper. There's a soul of me. There's a sense of meaning. There's a sense of purpose that is driving my life. And then I realized that I am part of the whole, part of this earth, interconnected with this planet and all living beings, the entire integrity of the ecosystems. All of this is also who I am, interconnected and interdependent with life. And then the 4th awakening, I awakened into myself as the mystery of the universe. Wow. These are the 4 awakenings. An awakened leadership begins by understanding that we are both these individual, completely unique expressions of the intelligence of the universe. No 2 people have the same fingerprint, you guys. We are all unique by design. There's nobody like you. Nobody can do what you do. We are individuals. And we are part of something so much larger than our individual self. We are the earth. We are the universe. We are the universe knowing itself, expressing itself through our unique form. Both non-dual and unique. So we're not only oneness, we're also unique individuals. We need to understand both of these things. They're both important. Because when we feel that interconnectedness, our expanded awareness of self informs us. It becomes part of our form. And it deepens us as individuals and inspires us into action in the world. You realize, and I want you to hear this, that you are not a small, insignificant thing. You have the power of the universe inside of you. That makes you huge. That makes you powerful. That makes you endlessly powerful. All the powers that are in the universe are in us because we are that. When we understand that, we get to radiate that energy into the world. And I'll tell you what, it feels magnetic. Call it charisma, call it, there's something about that person, whatever it is, it becomes magnetic because it connects us to a deeper truth and a deeper way of embodying wholeness. So I want to share a quote with you that I feel like embodies this so beautifully from one of my mentors. This is from Tom Yeomans. It's also the signature on my email. That's how much I love this. He says, the stunning paradox of human spiritual maturity is that as we become one with all life, we also at the same time become completely and uniquely ourselves. As we become one with all life, we also at the same time become completely and uniquely ourselves. Now, Tom Yeomans is an elder in the work of psychosynthesis. So let me tell you about this psychosynthesis. What is this all about? So I'm just going to give you a little bit of the background, and then we're going to kind of dive into some of these key concepts here. Psychosynthesis is a field of human development. It's a transpersonal or spiritual psychology that was developed by an Italian psychiatrist named Dr. Roberto Assagioli. And he was a contemporary of Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud. So psychosynthesis as a framework has been around for over 100 years. At this time, of course, psychoanalysis was the main work, diving into the basement of the psyche, exploring past wounds and trauma, excavating pathologies, and that's it. It was very limiting. So Assagioli held a vision of human potential, not just human neurosis. What else is possible within me? My potential. What is emerging within me? What is my soul longing to experience and embody and express? We're being asked right now to hold the pain of our world. And we also need to be able to hold the beauty of our world. And so for that, you need a psychology that includes the spiritual dimension. So we can work with the pain and we can also lean into the beauty and the hope. So psychosynthesis works in both of these dimensions. It works towards psychological integration, and it's a process and a movement toward greater spiritual maturity, which is the ability to hold the whole, to hold our different parts. So literally the principle of synthesis is both and, never either or. Being able to hold the pain and the beauty, being able to hold my fear and my courage, being able to hold my unique individual self and my sense of oneness, that non-dual sense. It allows me also to center into myself and hold the part of me that feels unworthy of love or feels like my voice doesn't matter because of something that I'd been taught or conditioned to believe. And when this happens, I also recognize that there's a deeper part of me that knows that I matter, that knows that I'm worthy, that knows that I belong. So we can hold the whole of who we are. We can hold our challenges, our grief, our pain, our fear without turning away. We're also holding the great potential that lies within us that's longing to be fully expressed. So psychosynthesis is this incredibly comprehensive and coherent framework for moving into that experience, for being aware of the forces in your own personality that tend to limit you so that you can become a more integrated and whole person. And then understand the way that your personality can be informed and infused with the energies of that soul potential that's inside of you. So this is psychosynthesis in a nutshell. It's a way of consciously cooperating with and accelerating our own evolution. So this inner journey is about remembering, it's about awakening, and it's about taking action with new awareness in our lives. This is the goal, becoming fully human. It sounds easy enough, right? But here's the thing. The problem that we come up against is that many of us in this world don't really know ourselves, because sometimes who we really are is buried deep beneath the conditioning of society and culture and the trauma that we experienced. It gets hard to remember. We're all part of this complex system that is built on a paradigm of separation. That is the dominant worldview right now. This power over others mentality. We hold collective trauma, we hold ancestral trauma, and there is so much that affects us in both known ways and also unknown ways. There's a lot that we still don't know that's happening within ourselves. And so in a lot of ways, we've lost sense of those most fundamental questions. Who am I? What do I deeply want? What really matters, right? And we can get lost in this where we don't really see ourselves. We don't remember who we are. We don't relate to the world the way we know. And so much that limits us stems from unconsciously holding on to these old wounds and these belief systems that can perpetuate patterns of thought and behavior, and it keep us from accessing our full potential as individuals and also our potential as humans on this planet, what we are capable of together. So we end up defaulting to unconscious patterns and operating systems, and we do it all the time, right? We act out in ways that aren't really aligned with who we truly are. Like, I know I don't want to yell right now. I actually want to feel connected, but what's happening? I'm getting triggered, right? There's a pattern in me that gets triggered when this happens. It happens, right? So how do we rediscover ourselves and live a life that feels deeply meaningful, aligns with our values, and awakens connection in a deeper way to rediscover and embody ourselves fully? This is how we begin to create change in our world. It begins inside of each one of us. And I think if you're here, you know that. So what we need now is to touch a much deeper source of wisdom. to help us understand and work with these personality level issues that can get in the way so that we can live from a deeper soul-centered space that feels aligned with who we truly are. So how many of you are resonating with that? Give me a yes in the chat box if you're feeling what I'm laying down. Are you feeling it? Yeah. Yes, so much. Yeah, so much. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Well, welcome home, my friends, because this is exactly where you need to be. Beautiful. And that part of you that you're feeling right now that's resonating is this part of you that knows the deeper truth about who you are. And that's why you're here, right? So let's take a moment in this energy. And I want to once again invite you to just take a moment, if it feels good, to close your eyes and connect. Take a breath, breathe in, slowly breathe out, and connect with that part of you that knows why you're here. The part of you that can witness the parts of you that can sometimes feel scared or doubt your worth. The part of you who knows that you have gifts to share with our world. That essential self, that inner loving observer. Feel into that. This is who you are. So breathing into that and gently opening your eyes if they're closed. I want to share with you guys a really beautiful map of your inner world. So I'm going to share my screen. So give me just one moment. All right, can you guys see this beautiful oval? Give me a yes if you can see this beautiful oval diagram. Yes, okay, awesome, beautiful. Okay. This is what we call the egg diagram. And it is a map of your inner psyche. So we begin here. We begin here in the center with our loving observer, the part of you that you just connected to. There's something inside of you that's able to observe these other experiences. This is our loving observer. It's the personal self or the inner eye. Okay, so taking a moment, just center in right here to this inner eye. When we feel connected, when we witness ourselves from within, from the space beyond the story, becoming aware of our body, our emotions, our sensations, and the various aspects of our experience, this is that self. We're not just our body, our mind, our emotions. We're not just an outcome of our conditioning or the roles that we play. We're not limited by our beliefs or our stories. We are more than that. We are a center of pure self-awareness and will. The awareness of who you are and the will to become who you are. So the inner work is to become more aware of who I am and choose what I do with the feelings that arise with me. So how can I direct my choices in a way that honors my values and my sense of self? For instance, if I'm angry, do I choose to act on that anger? Do I get violent? Or do I bring compassion to a situation? If I recognize I'm having an experience of anger, I get to choose how I respond to that. So how do I become the director of my life? So breathe into that for a moment. Breathe into this inner eye. Inhale, awareness. And exhale, will. This is who you are. Now, all around this self is your field of immediate awareness, this golden circle, the field of immediate awareness. I'm aware that I'm looking at this beautiful egg. I'm aware that you're here. I can feel you energetically. I can see the movement in the chat box. I know you're present with me. What are you aware of and present to right now? Just notice what's here in your immediate field of awareness. Now, beyond this immediate field of awareness, the rest of the egg contains 3 levels of the unconscious. Okay? So outside of this immediate awareness is the middle unconscious. This is the middle unconscious. This is the realm of the everyday. Okay, the things that are accessible to me that I may not be thinking of at the moment, but they're here and accessible in the forefront of my consciousness, like my phone number, or maybe what I had for breakfast. Also, what's here in the middle unconscious are certain patterns and reactions, triggers that I might be aware of in myself, maybe things that I could even predict. So if someone asked you right now to speak on stage in front of others, you might get nervous. Your hands might sweat. You could probably predict this behavior because it's a pattern. Whenever you're invited to speak out, you're like, your hands sweat and you get that nervous feeling, right? So you know what's going to happen. So these are the things that we're aware of about ourselves, even if we're not thinking of them right now. They're here. Myself in the everyday, the middle unconscious. But we're not just driven by what's conscious. This is the lower unconscious or the basic unconscious. This is where we hold repressed and traumatic memories, fundamental drives or primal instincts and impulses. In a lot of ways, it's an unconscious operating system that can sometimes hijack our sense of self. And it can create patterns of thought and behavior that are not aligned with who we truly are or what we deeply want. This place also holds childhood wounds, parts of me that maybe didn't feel safe to be seen, that don't feel worthy, that don't feel good enough, fragmented parts of myself that oftentimes happen at a young age. So maybe, a part of me fragments when something happens. I may have had an experience or some kind of trauma or conditioning from society or culture or my family, experiences that made me believe something about who I am. That's not the full truth. Maybe not true at all. Perhaps I felt unseen or unsafe or not enough. Or so I developed a survival strategy to protect myself and feel safe. So let me give you an example. Maybe when I would speak up as a child, I would get yelled at or judged. So I learned that to be safe, I needed to be quiet. And so part of me developed a strategy of keeping me quiet to keep me safe. And it worked. It kept me safe. I didn't get yelled at. I didn't get in trouble. I didn't get put down. I didn't speak up. And so at one point, it served me to not speak up. But now it's become part of this unconscious operating system. So now at 35, 45, 55, when I want to speak my truth to my partner, to my boss, to the world, I want to get my voice out there, I have a message to share, this part of me says, shh, no, it's not safe. And so I get quiet. So there's an internal conflict here between myself and my desire to speak my truth and share my message, and this wounded part. I really want to speak my truth. I really want to get my voice out there, but I don't because part of me hijacks my thoughts and says, if you speak up, they're going to judge you. You're not good enough to speak up. What you say doesn't matter. So I shut down. Are you tracking with me? So I want to learn how to identify that I have a part. I have this part, but it's not me. So when I can discover this part of myself, I'm able to make the unconscious conscious. I'm becoming aware of something that's been driving some behaviors that I didn't see before because I thought this is who I am. I'm just somebody who doesn't like to speak up. But really, it's a wounded part of me. So first, I want to be able to identify that I have this part. Okay, there's something happening here. Once I can identify this and make that conscious, then I can do what we call disidentify. I identify first, now I disidentify. I recognize that I am more than this wounded part, and I reconnect to myself. I reconnect to that loving observer. And from this space, I can now create a relationship with this part of me. And it becomes intimate and loving. And I become curious. I want to understand the survival strategy that this part of me has. It's how is this part of me trying to protect me? What's the deeper need that I hold for both safety and speaking my truth? My feelings of worth, knowing that my voice matters. So I can integrate this part. Like a parent to a child, I want to welcome this part home because I can give it safety without judgment in a way that I never received as a child. I can let this wounded part know a deeper truth. I know you're scared and my voice matters. I need to speak up. It's important. So you can hold the party that's afraid and do what you know you need to do. So this lower unconscious carries a lot of material that most of us need to work with. And this is the work of integration. Now, becoming whole is not only about working with or integrating the material from the lower unconscious. What's also important in becoming a whole person is to understand the higher unconscious. This is the higher unconscious. This is the realm of my highest aspirations, my human potential, my sense of purpose and meaning, what gives my life value. These are the soul qualities that are here that are longing to be embodied and expressed in me. When I discovered that I held this deep longing for compassion in the world and equality and justice, and these qualities became so important to me when I awakened to myself in a deeper way. So this is where we hold all of these soul qualities: compassion, confidence, connection, you name it. Soul qualities, anything you can think of, they're here within you. Something that defines you as more than just the story of your past, something that defines you as the call of yourself, that deeper call within you that may have even brought you here today. Some of you said, I had this pull or this nudge, this desire, this impulse. So this is how we move from a process of integration into elevation, connecting with the transpersonal. Okay. Now, we also have the collective unconscious. This map is so powerful, isn't it? The collective unconscious is out here. This is the collective unconscious. And this is also a part of me. This unconscious is more than just my own, right? I am informed by both the pain and the beauty of our world, the things that are happening that affect me and are painful. And also, oh my God, did you see that sunset? Did you feel that inside of you? There is so much here that we can hold within us that informs us. Also, we can tune into a greater wisdom that's in our world that informs us as well. All of this is also part of me. What lands in the ecological space is also within me as part of me. Okay. So I am part of this greater collective, and also what I do and what I choose and how I show up in my inner work also affects the world. You see, these lines right here are permeable. They offer a space for information to flow in and out of us. We are not compartmentalized. We are interconnected with the world. We've established that. Now we're seeing it brought to life in a visual way. So what I do makes a difference. And the more awareness that I have, the greater my ability to align my choices and support the evolution of our world. This is why doing our inner work matters so much. So I can also know myself as an individual and also as one with all things. What we also have here is this beautiful light. This is the higher self. We have our personal self, and we have the higher self, or the soul, or the blueprint that's written inside of me for who I am meant to be in this world. When I can begin to identify and loosen these identifications that can sometimes hijack my sense of self or block me from accessing who I truly am, I open up a space or a channel for who I am as a soul to begin to shine through into my personal self, into my personality, and into the world. Okay? This is really powerful because I can feel it, I can sense it, I can embody it. And the higher self is always here. When I bring presence to my peak experiences at the mountaintop, the higher self is also here when I bring presence to my dark night of the soul, to my deepest struggles. The soul is also here. My soul is also here when I sip my morning tea. Do you see this? The soul is always present. And all of my experiences are important. All of them, including the darkest experiences that I've had, serve to ripen me. All of them matter. So nothing is omitted. We don't want to bypass. We don't try to change what's here in the present moment. That's where suffering comes in. We only seek to be in relationship with it, to understand it as part of our growth. Each obstacle that we encounter is not in the way of our path. It is actually part of our path. When I deepen into understanding it, I learn more about myself. So this fundamentally changes my relationship to each experience I have and gives me information that I need to not only know myself, but to activate my will, to make choices, to make new decisions, new ways of being in the world that allow me to fully express who I am and radiate my soul potential through my personality into the world, to radiate these beautiful energies, these qualities, the authenticity of my being. Just want you to breathe into that. So there's so much here in this map to help us recognize and become more aware. And what's beautiful is that as we do this inner work, coming back here to our field of immediate awareness, our field of consciousness, what happens is that it begins to grow. So I might have this much awareness, but as I do my work, it begins to grow. It begins to expand outward, wider and wider, like a gorgeous, glowing, radiating spiral of awareness, holding all our lower and our higher unconscious. I'm holding my wounds. I'm aware of them. I'm holding them. I'm holding my greatest potential. I'm living into it. I'm working on it. I'm bringing it into myself. Do you see this? So this part can grow wider and wider and wider and wider. And the other thing is we don't want to favor any part of the egg. You know, so much in spiritual work, we try to just aim for this. I just want to like transcend it all away and go to this happy spiritual place where I'm happy all the time. And no, I can't suffer if I'm spiritual. And no, I can't feel pain if I wouldn't be spiritual if I had grief. That's a lot of bullshit because we want to feel it all, right? We got to feel it all. We got to feel it all. And all is welcome. All is welcome. Okay. Through living our full experience, moment to moment, is how we mature spiritually. Whether we understand it or not, whether we like it or not, we need to learn to trust that whatever it is that we're experiencing is what our soul needs for us to share our gifts fully with the world. There might be things that we don't prefer, and there might be things that we can't change. But if we can be in relationship to what's here as it is, it deepens us. Okay. When we hold the intensity of our experience with support from a therapist or a coach, if we need it, certainly. But when we can hold the intensity of our experience, we deepen. So to mature spiritually, we embrace all of it. This is the energy of integration, elevation, and radiation, radiating into the world. Okay. Right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to say goodbye to this gorgeous egg for now. And I want to check in with you guys. What do you notice? What are you feeling? I'd love to receive a little feedback in the chat box. How is this landing? Just wow. Yeah. No, Ariana. Yes, I truly believe that my path to massage therapy is one of the major connectors to my soul. Beautiful, Mary. Yes, deep. Yes. Good. Feeling that. So many. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you, Christina. So good to have you here. Yeah. I call this my divine partnership. Love it. All right. I'm glad you guys are feeling this and it's really resonating with you and for you. You know, we have this great potential written in the soul seed of us that needs to be actualized. To fully realize that, we need to work with these parts of us that hold the limiting stories about our capacity to do that. Okay? Because we know a deeper truth. And here is the secret to unwavering confidence. Are you ready? Are you ready? Tell me I'm ready. Are you ready? You're ready. The secret to unwavering confidence. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God, here it is. Drum roll, please. The secret to unwavering confidence. It is so simple. Like, of course, have confidence in your soul, not your personality. The soul knows. Roberto Assagioli always said, the soul knows, the personality is still discovering it. Have confidence in your soul. So when these parts come up and they've got lots to say, don't they, you guys? But I have confidence in my soul. I have confidence in who I am. And I know that I'm meant to be here. And I know that sometimes it feels challenging and sometimes I feel scared and like, oh, I'm nervous and I'm brave. Yeah. Have confidence in your soul and you will always do what you know you need to do. Okay. You know who you are. You know you're called to share your gifts with the world, or you wouldn't be here tonight on Awakened Leadership, right? This is for you. Can you feel it? Yeah, beautiful. When we connect with ourselves in this larger context, to our soul and to the soul of the world, we show up. We show up differently. We show up in our lives as partners, as parents, as friends, as coaches, as speakers, as change makers, as way showers, as leaders who remember. This is awakened leadership. This is what it's all about. When we are in service to life, we give 100%, right? We want to give 100% because it's bigger than just me. If I shut myself down, I am not serving the world. So no more excuses, no more hiding. We need to do the inner work that's necessary because you know you are ready. You are capable, you belong. And all the things that you've experienced, the heartbreaks, the challenges, the dark nights of the soul, and there will be more, all of them have deepened you, have shaped you in a particular way to do the work that you're meant to do on this planet. So trust in that. Because each one of you, fingerprint, each one of you has something unique to offer the world that only you can. And if you don't give it to us, no one else can. So we need you. Got it? So we know all this. We got this. We're feeling it in our bones and our cells and the space between, right? We're feeling activated. I hope you're feeling that inner fire. Because what also happens is that even though we know this, inner conflicts are still going to arise. It's part of the human journey. So the aim of psychosynthesis is to learn how to understand and master our inner conflicts, identifying them and making them conscious. Okay. And realize this, you guys, whenever we stretch ourselves, whenever we get ready to move beyond our comfort zone and change and grow and step out and try something new, there can be conflict. Because when we come to the edges and we try to push beyond, the parts of our personality that are wounded are going to push back. They're going to try to keep us safe, right? With the only strategy that it knows that helped us at one point, but no longer serves us. Okay. It's just how it works. We can't completely escape conflict or suffering, but we can learn how to be with it, and to be with it in a way that will fundamentally change the experience. So we can learn not to fear it when it comes up. We can learn through the experience. Remember, we can hold these parts and we can hold our greater truth. And we want to reparent these parts, give these parts what they never got before. We get to do that. That's a gift. Okay, so we don't want to get rid of any of our parts. We want to love them for their effort as loyal soldiers trying to protect us. Okay, but they just have a limited awareness. They're doing what they know how to do. But we can let them know that the war is over. Okay, that you can meet that need in a healthier way. And this is how we integrate. And this is also how we deepen into resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from a disruption of some kind, right? However, it's not enough to just bounce back to where we were when we have some kind of disruption. You know, we just experienced COVID, massive disruption, but we don't want to bounce back to a dysfunctional society or business as usual mindset, right? Oh, here we go, business as usual. We're finally getting back to the normal. No, we want to bounce back deeper. We don't want to bounce back and default to unconscious patterns and limitations when something happens. We want to allow these disruptions to wake us up. And I want to share an amazing quote from Pema Chodron, who's a Buddhist monk. And she says, with meditation, you realize that you are always standing in the middle of a sacred circle, and that is your whole life. Whatever comes into the space is there to teach you. Our life's work is to use what we've been given to let the things that enter the circle wake you up rather than put you to sleep. So when an emotion disrupts us, when fear disrupts us, when a thought disrupts us, it needs our attention. We cannot bypass. We must enter into a sacred relationship with what's here. And through that, we bounce back stronger with a more expansive self-awareness and worldview. So we deepen our resilience by learning how to be with and create space for all that's within us. And the paradox is that by doing this, we actually discover a deeper joy. This is true joy, not just happy rainbows, okay? This is joy in the deepest core essence of our bones, a joy that transcends beyond circumstances, the joy of welcoming all of our parts, all of who we are, even the resistance, all of it, for the information that it carries, integrating our obstacles, developing resilience, finding new soul qualities that are emerging, that are wanting my attention to be embodied, reclaiming old qualities like my sense of spontaneity or creativity, you know, that I'm like, what happened to that? Bring it back, discovering all that's here in our deeper needs and desires and expressing that, radiating that into the world. Okay, this is the depth of what's possible. So share with me a word or a phrase that reflects how you're feeling right now. I want to take that in. Felt the power of love. Beautiful, mind blown, peaceful, alive. Purpose, inspired and uplifted, floating Mary Beth, heart-centered Erin, beautiful. Peaceful, joy, there it is. Yes. Curious, I love it. Curiosity, peaceful, possibility and spirit, peace and confidence. So good, you guys. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Take it all in. Yeah. Good, Hope. Yes. Aligned. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Joel. So beautiful. So much here, you guys. So let's take all of this in because I want to invite you into an experience now. Okay. Taking all of this in. It's a lot of information. And also, I hope you're starting to feel it penetrate into you in a really deep and soulful way. So, what I want to do now is I want to invite us to go through a process that's going to bring this alive in a more personal way for you. Okay. So, like you're getting these concepts and these ideas, and it's awesome. And now, how do I embody that? What does that mean? So, I want to give you guys an experience. Okay. So, please have something to write with, have that journal, ready to go. Okay. And let's begin by centering with 3 deep breaths together. Okay. So breathing in and slowly exhaling, feeling all the energy that's stirred up inside of you. Breathing in and slowly breathing out. And one more nice deep breath, breathing in and slowly breathing out. Beautiful. All right. So I'm going to take you through a series of questions and invite you to explore. And the first question is, what is it that you feel called to create or do in your life right now? Okay, if you could have, be, or do anything that feels purposeful, what would that be? And I want to invite you to be specific. So instead of having a quality, let's say like I want to feel courage. That's awesome. And if you had that courage, what would you do with it? Do you want to create a coaching business? Do you want to travel to Spain? Do you want to grow a garden in your backyard? Or do you want to start a podcast? Think of something that feels very specific. Okay, you want to write a book? And what do you want to do, Mary? Healing people? What is there something specific? Is it through massage? Is it through, like think about it really specifically, as specific as possible. Beautiful. And you can write this down. You can share it in the chat. It's lovely to be present with each other. Yeah, these are beautiful. And as you're discovering what this is, why do you want to create this? What's important about this for you? So bring some awareness to why it feels important. And you might write a note about that as well. Why does this feel important? Beautiful. These are great, you guys. Okay. So connect to the why. Connect to why this feels meaningful for you in your life. Okay. Great transformation. Yeah. Okay. So connecting to something that you want to do that feels purposeful and why it feels important. So now here's the question. Why haven't you done it? What's in the way of what you want? Maybe you've tried and something stopped you. Maybe there's a thought that keeps replaying. Maybe there's a fear. So I want to invite you to tune into the story that's present. Maybe you feel like you have to get it all perfect, so you never finish or you never even get started. Maybe you feel like your voice doesn't matter or you have nothing original to offer. You want to write that book, but like everybody's written the book. What do I have to? So what comes up for you when you think about this thing you want to do and you realize it's important? What is getting in the way? Maybe you feel like you're not worthy of this thing in some way. So just notice that. And as you notice the thought or the pattern, remember you are more than this thought. Okay. So let's observe the thought or the experience. What happens that stops you? Fear of rejection. Okay. Yeah, right. My voice, again, coming back to that fear of not being enough. And Christina, that is when so many of us hold that. Am I enough? Does what I have to offer make a difference? Fear of being seen. Yeah. And just notice as this comes up, notice that this is a part of you. We're going to use this work right now. You're observing this part of you. You are not this part of you. You are more than this part of you, and you're having an experience. So notice also if it comes up in your body anywhere. Is there anywhere where it comes up in the body? So when you have this thought, what happens in the body? Maybe there's a contraction. Maybe there's a knot in my stomach. Maybe my heart beats faster. You eat more. Yeah. Like what are the behaviors that okay. So notice what comes up in the body. And then the next question here is it moving into that? Noticing your throat. Yeah. So notice how the body has a connection to these thoughts. So as you become familiar with the thought pattern, you might also notice like when my body does this, oh yeah, whoa, I'm in that part right now. I'm feeling that contraction. I'm feeling my throat close up. I'm in that part. This is not me. Identification, disidentification, right? But right now, what happens also when you have these thoughts? What do you typically choose to do? So I saw somebody said, I eat. Okay, that's something I do. So what kind of action or inaction or distraction happens when you recognize this unconscious default pattern? What does this part of you choose in those moments? So let's say I want to get my voice out on social media. But as soon as I go to do that, I'm like, oh, I need another cup of coffee. Or I start scrolling Facebook, or I just find something else to do. I sleep, right? I take a nap. I get quiet. I yell. What do I do when I have this thought or this feeling happens? I do something normally. So here we are getting used to knowing this pattern. Getting ready to get ready, right? Yeah. Remember, whatever's happening here, this part of you is just trying to keep you safe like a loyal soldier, right? Yet it hijacks yourself, it hijacks your will. Noticing this pattern, right? When this happens, I tend to do this. When I get ready to post on social media, I find a way of escaping and distracting myself. So write this down, write down so you can really become aware of this pattern. Now, take a deep breath. You are more than this part. You're recognizing and observing. It's powerful to just be with this experience, knowing that you're more than this. Okay. Now, as you take a breath, I want you to tap into a deeper truth. In the center of you, in this core self, there is a deeper truth. There is something that you know. So, is this part of you that's saying this, what it's saying, is it absolutely true? Yes or no? Is it absolutely true? Could there be more to the story? Is there more information within you, a deeper knowing? So I want you to tap into that deeper knowing right now. Tap into this deeper truth that when you disidentify from this part, and you may have a hard time accessing it when you're caught up in that identification. But I want to see if you can access something deeper that more deeply is true than what this part is saying. What would that truth sound like? And if you have a hard time thinking of something, I invite you to just sort of move towards the opposite idea, right? So if this voice is saying, I'm not good enough, take on a voice that says, I have everything that I need. I am good enough. I'm resourceful. I can do this. Feel a difference? Or if this voice is saying, my voice doesn't matter, take on the opposite, that what I have to say is important. When I share myself with others, I can make a difference. So here are some examples. So what is it for you? Write it down. What is a greater truth that you know? Let this be an experiment. What is a deeper truth? My life purpose is to help others. Yeah, you know it. I am meant to speak and teach and help save the world. Yeah. You know in the deepest part of you that this is true. There are moments when I forget. There are moments when I'm hijacked by this wounded heart, but I know that this is true. So write that down for yourself and breathe into this experience, this truth, as if it is exactly how you think and feel. And I want you to notice what shifts in your body. What shifts in your body when you take in this truth and act as if it is true, absolutely true? What happens? What's different? How does your mind feel? How does your body feel? What is it like when you take on a larger belief about who you are and what you're capable of? And take note of that. What I have to share is important and will touch the lives of the people most meant to hear my message. Yes. My deeper truth is there. It's always the next step forward that will be unveiled to me. Yeah. Self-empowering. You feel at peace. Beautiful. Yes. Awesome. So now I want to take this one step further. As you center into this truth and you feel this coming alive in your body, I want you to take a moment and notice any time in your life where you have evidence that this is actually true, that you were resourceful, that what you said or did made a difference for somebody, that when you posted on social media, it touched that person that day. You made a difference in that one person's life, remember? You made a difference when you shared. Find some evidence about that in your life. And if you can't find, if you're struggling to find evidence in your own life, think about someone you know that made it possible, because if they can do it, you can do it. So find some evidence that it's true. And this piece about the evidence is so important because we only filter in about 12% of our reality in any given moment. And we filter it through what we believe about ourselves. So if I believe that my voice doesn't matter and what I say, doesn't matter and I'm going to get judged, I'm going to see all the times when I said it wrong and did it wrong and I got judged. It's all I'm going to see. I'm going to be like, see, it's true. No. Let me filter in the time when what I said made a difference, when what I did made a difference. Okay. So start looking at, when you start filtering it through the belief that what I say matters, you're going to start to see the times when what you said mattered. Okay. So this is a new way of seeing yourself and believing who you are and finding the evidence to back that up. This is so important. When we aren't conscious, we move into those default patterns. So as you're writing down this evidence, I also want you to look at your life, and I want you to think about and feel into what would you do in your life if you embrace this fully as true. When we're not conscious and we default, right, to the parts that hijack our sense of self, we choose from there. But when we center into this deeper knowing, we choose in a different way. So what would confidence choose? How would you step into your vision without this part of you driving the bus? If what you did before was to freeze or distract or yell or get quiet or eat or something like that, what new choice would you make now when you center into this deeper truth about who you are? Yeah, beautiful. Confidence. Would post more on social media, not be so afraid to talk openly about my beliefs. That's so powerful. Conversations that change the world. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Yes. Yes. So as you take this in, I want you to come back to that sense of purpose that you started with. This is something that I want to create in my life. What is one small step, one small action step you're willing to take now toward that vision? Feel the fear and do it anyway. So what are you going to do? What is one small step? Make that phone call, post that post, make that video. What is one small step that you can declare? And write that down. Give yourself an action step, something you can take away from today and actually do. Yes. Great. And write this down. Yeah, going to that networking event, going to that social gathering. I love it. All right, now centering into all of this, I want you to come up with one sentence that captures this, that feels true about who you are and your relationship to what's possible with this vision in a way that feels aligned. So, for example, my one sentence might be, it's important for me to speak up because when I do, I make a difference. Give yourself one powerful sentence. Something that you can affirm. You know, affirmations are slippery. You know, if I just make a statement, but I have no roots and I've done no conscious work around it, and I don't really believe it, they don't support me. But if I do some deep conscious work and I make an affirmation that aligns with my deepest truth so that I can always remember what it is that I know to be true, that is an affirmation. That's how we use affirmations. Say yes to the goodness that keeps arriving. Welcome it in. Beautiful. Yeah, so write that down. And as you breathe into the sentence that you're writing down, notice how it feels in your body. Bring it fully to life. Okay, bring that energy into your life, coming back to this energy whenever you need it, this deeper truth about who you are, whenever you need to remember who you are and how capable and resourceful. Come back. My voice is meant to be heard. Yes. Okay, you know who you are and you get to write that story. You get to lead your life. You get to take bold, confident steps towards greater leadership in the world. So, how are you guys doing? How was that exercise for you? So good. Awesome. Awesome. You are getting a taste. When I say a taste, like this is a taste of this huge, beautiful framework, you know, that we do here at Psychospiritual Institute. And so I hope that it ignited your inner fire and your passion for who you are and what you have within you to share with the world, because our world really needs you, needs all of us to awaken into our leadership potential and really step into what we're meant to bring. So revealing, beautiful. Ah, so good, you guys. Beautifully executed. Oh, thank you, Carrie. Good. I'm glad you executed it beautifully. It worked for you. Good. So, you guys, this work, you can feel me. I'm so passionate about this work, because it's just amazing on every kind of level. And so if this excites you, also, if this work moves you, I want to share a way that you can go even deeper. And I want to share this incredible digital program that we just created, that we are putting out there for all of you guys. And it's called Self-Coaching Mastery. Self-Coaching Mastery. Become a confident, soul-centered leader in your life and for our world. And I'm going to share my screen in a second because I really want to show it to you, because it is filled with so much goodness. If you love this, what we did today, it's just wider, deeper in so many ways. And I'm also throwing in so many incredible bonuses. So it's just an incredible, rich experience full of tools, full of profound theory, experiential work, step-by-step processes that will support you to create a deeper relationship with yourself and your ability to show up and share who you are more confidently. So I want to show it to you, as well as a couple testimonials from some of our students, because I want you to hear it from them, so you can really feel into how this work moves in us. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm so excited to share this with you guys. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Hold on one second. Okay. This, which I poured so much love and heart and soul into, is the self-coaching mastery program. And it's self-coaching mastery because, there are times when we absolutely need a coach, we need a therapist, we need support. And ultimately, the work is about how we build that relationship with ourselves. So I want to empower you to do this work within you, so that you can center in as a loving observer and build those relationships that allow you to know who you are at any given moment. So this is the Self-Coaching Mastery Program. And in this program, I'm going to share a few kind of the overview, and then we're going to get into the modules. This is not going to take too long, but I really want to share this with you guys. You're going to learn and apply the basic theory and tools of psychosynthesis, which we talked about so much today and experienced. You're going to deepen your presence and perspective of yourself and your relationship to the world in a really deep way. The ecological self, self as mystery. We're going to go really deep into creating your soul vision for who you are, gain incredible clarity on where you are and where you want to be. You're going to learn to identify and work with the blocks that get in the way. We're going to do some really deep process work around this. We're also going to dive into and understand the science of brain change. How do we rewrite and reconnect new way those synapses? So we're going to actually work with the brain in here, science of the brain, behind the limiting beliefs and how to use a powerful step-by-step model to rewire your brain. It's powerful. We're going to develop and strengthen your will. Remember I said who we are is not just awareness. I can be self-aware all day, but if I don't take action on that, then I'm just aware. So we want to also develop and build our relationship to our will. So we're going to do some will work in this program as well. And you're going to learn how to apply the tools that you learn in a grounded and practical way. It's going to be so rich. That's what I love about psychosynthesis, is that it's so grounded in science and psychology. So it holds such a rooted way of being in this work. We're going to work with the transpersonal quality of confidence. We're going to do a lot of work with activating the soul quality of confidence inside of you. Some really deep work. Okay, so these are the modules. There are 5 main modules, and then there's also a 6th bonus module, which I'll share with you in a sec. So the module 1 is about reconnecting to the truth of who you are. This is the deep work, the ecological work, the mystery, all that is like, oof, so deep in this first module. That's where we have to begin. We can't do anything without really connecting to who we are and the deeper story of us. So that's where we begin. Number 2, module 2 is about transforming obstacles. So this is when we're going to get deeper into the work of identification, disidentification. We're going to learn the process work of how to reconnect with that personal self. And we're going to go a lot deeper, really doing some step-by-step work here. Module 3 is going to deepen that into disidentification, self-identification. Number 4, module 4 is going to get into the will and the power of decision and how we reclaim our power and empower ourselves to actually make new choices. Super powerful. And then 5 is all about bringing in the somatic work and embodying the change and working with the soul quality of confidence. Okay, so I kind of just went through this, but just showing you the beauty and the energy. And, you know, as we're going through this, I also want you to take in how it feels to even look at these slides. Because for me, Alyssa, my partner, created these, and she's just holds beauty is one of her soul qualities that is so radiant in her. And even when she puts these things together, I want you to feel the energy of what's here, because this is also the energy and this soulful beauty of what we're going to dive into together. So it's not just intellectual work. It is so soulful and embodied. And so the energy of what you see and feel, even as you gaze at these beautiful images, I hope ignites you. So module 3, the way to freedom. Module 4, reclaiming ourselves in a deep way, embodying. Really, the somatic work is so powerful. And then module 6, this is fun. This is, I threw in this bonus module, just some other really, I think, so complementary, these teachings, 10 powers for confidence and leadership. So again, deepening into confidence, how we can rewrite and reframe failure. And it's fun to really dive into that. And also, how do we become even more magnetic presence in our life and business? Okay, so we're going to dive into some extra fun teachings in module 6 as well. Okay, so I want to get into the value of all the things and talk about some of the extra awesome bonuses that are coming in here. So this is the self-coaching mastery program plus module 6 is a value of $997. That's not what we're selling it for. It's just the value of what it is. Okay. And I'm throwing in a whole other program. So you're getting this incredible program and you're getting the Awaken to Wholeness course that I created several years ago. I did a summit. That was the Awaken to Wholeness Summit, and I created a whole program, and that was so powerful. This work is going to be deeply complementary to the work that you're doing in a self-coaching mastery program, and it's going to take the work of cosmology, which is the story of our time, you know, even deeper. So it's powerful. It's a 2-hour powerhouse conversation with mathematical cosmologist Brian Swim, who is one of my mentors, and he is incredible. He's like the next Carl Sagan. So we do a 2-hour deep dive into the powers of the universe from a scientific point of view, and deeply soulful. And then we're going to dive into the program, the course, it's the different modules, which will dive deeper into how do we apply that in a practical way in our lives. You know, again, it's not out there, it's in me. So we're going to dive into that. There's also one of the other modules is around awakening our sacred activist. So there's some deep activism work here in this Awaken to Wholeness course. So we're going to get into understanding the way that the great turning of our time, ways that we participate, powerful spiritual and sacred activism. So that's what this other program's all about that I'm throwing in. Again, that's the value of it. That's not the charge. Okay. And then we have this incredible Facebook group, and my whole team is in the Facebook group. We are all there to support you every step of the way. So we're not just, here's a digital program, bye, have fun. No, we really want to support you and be there with you every step of the way. Whatever questions come up, wherever you need support as you go through the modules, we are there. So we have an incredible Facebook group. We already have some people in it. You know, things are starting to roll. It's new. So you're coming into this beautiful space. Our arms are wide open to receive you. So that's our Facebook group, valued at $9.97. And we're also bringing a higher level of support before you even, once you sign up for the program, you are going to get to have a one-on-one call with one of my master coaches. And this is going to be a complimentary intention setting call. They're going to get you on board, personally support you to get into the program, to get into the Facebook group, and help you center into your intention for what you're bringing into this work. So you get to have a one-on-one call with them. And then once you complete the program, and again, we're with you in the Facebook group every step of the way, you get to have an integration call. So after you do the work, you get to get back on a call with one of my coaches and talk about what you learned, what happened, and really integrate that work even more deeply with a coach and look at what are those next steps for you in your life. Okay. So we are so authentically here for you, and we want you to do the work, not just buy a program and forget about it. We want you to actually dive in, because we know that this work is life-changing, and we know that it will just ignite you on fire. So we are here every step of the way. So you get to have 2 calls with my coaches. Okay, so here's everything. Again, this is the value. This is not the charge, right? So you're getting the self-coaching mastery, become a confident, soul-centered leader program, plus the module 6, Awaken to Wholeness course, this whole other course that's so amazing. I'm so passionate about this work. You get our private Facebook group, and we're in there. We are alive in there, helping you and supporting you. So please use it. You get 2 calls with my coaches. So, so beautiful. And so the whole thing is only $497. That's it. And you get all of this stuff. I mean, that alone is the value of the calls with the coaches. You know, I said $297, but honestly, it's like, so there's so much here that's in this program that I want to invite you to really breathe into this. Stay with me, linger here for a moment. If today moved you, if you're feeling the tingling, if it's something leaning into a yes, in the chat box, we're going to add the link where you can register. So let's put that in the chat box right now. The link is there. You can take a deeper look. There are also some testimonials there. And I want to show you a few testimonials right now. They're short, but they're passionate. So let me share with you.
Hi there, Anjani Amrit here, soul purpose mentor and self-actualization specialist. And I'm here today to share my experience about studying with the Psycho-Spiritual Institute. It was and is by far, hands down, the most incredible, life-changing, profound program that I have ever studied. And I've studied a lot. The team are phenomenal. They really know what they're doing. They're experts in their field, and they genuinely care. They're authentic, they're trustworthy, and they have just got your back through the whole program. During the program, I got to not only learn some new skills to bring to the people that I work with, but I also got to heal a large part of myself and be held during that healing process. And then after doing the program, what happened for me was that I was able to show up in a much more authentic way, in a much deeper way, with much greater wisdom. If you are deciding to do this program, just do it. It's going to be the best thing you've ever done in your life.
I am absolutely blown away at it's like in the corporate world, we talk about diversity and inclusion all day long, but I feel like this whole experience has been really a model for that. I think above all, it's not just learning techniques and tools, but learning about being in the world in a different way.
Like it allows that personality and that uniqueness to shine through even brighter. And so, yeah, just being able to honor that throughout this whole process and now step into that completely and really feel this shift is truly amazing. So.
Absolutely just amazing. Like I don't even have the words. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. For the first time, I have settled into me, to myself, which is what I've been looking for my whole life. And I had no idea that my home that I've been crying for, like I want to go home, but I don't know where home is, was always just right here. And so this is it. This is the first time. I'm 45 years old, and it's the first time I have felt like I am finally where I'm supposed to be. I don't have to search. My journey is not over. It's going to be a forever, lifelong learning lesson, but I'm home. And I'm so very grateful for this class. And it was leaps and bounds beyond what I even imagined.
So I just wanted to give you guys a little taste of, we have so many testimonials on Google, like all these beautiful 5-star, soulful, heartfelt. It's like a love fest. And I want you guys to feel that, just a little taste of it, because this work is for real. So I want to invite you to just take a moment and tune in, feel the energy of what's aroused in you. Can you imagine what it would feel like to just really embrace this, to fully step in to your big yes? This will only support you to take you to that next level of who you are, who you're meant to be, and how you can show up in this world. So I want you to just feel in and see if there's a soul yes that's here. If there's a soul yes, then the rest is easy. So just feel into that, and coming back here one more time to just show you the whole package. And I'm going to come back to my face and not the screen. But again, the whole program, the bonus module, the Awaken to Wholeness, whole other course, the private Facebook group that's just for you guys, and the 2 calls with my coaches, to support you. All of it's for only $497. So taking a breath, the link again is in the chat box. I am going to stop my share so I can come back fully and be with you. Yeah. So the link is there, and we are there. And if you want to dive in deeper with us here at Psycho-Spiritual Institute, I really want to invite you to join us. We're an amazing community of incredible change makers, soul level activists, coaches, and people from all walks of life, really, that care deeply about the world. So you're going to be in great company, great community, and we just love to welcome you in. So take a moment and tune in if you're still here in this training, tuning in from wherever you are. If there's something in you that's called you to this work, I want you to come back to that why, the why that brought you here, the why that ignites your soul fire. And imagine how your life will change, and through you, how many lives you will touch through your work when you step into your confidence and create that magnetism to attract the people who need your unique wisdom. And And if you have any questions, I invite them. If you want to put them in the chat box, and then I would love to close with a poem. So the link is there to join us. If you have any questions, please offer them. Oh, yes, totally. Sabina, Jessica, Erin. Beautiful. Okay. Well, I want to close with a beautiful poem. I'm so glad. Thank you for all those lovely comments in the chat box. I'm so glad you guys are feeling this and resonating. And I can't wait to see you in this work and in the Facebook group and get to do this work more deeply with you, more personally with you. I can't wait to meet all of you, those of you who I don't know and haven't worked with yet. There's so much work for us to do, and we can make it joyful and we can do it together because we're not meant to do it alone. So let me share this closing poem with all of you. It is called How I Became a Warrior by Jeff Foster. Once I ran from fear, so fear controlled me until I learned to hold fear like a newborn, listen to it but not give in, honor it but not worship it. Fear could not stop me anymore. I walked with courage into the storm. I still have fear, but it does not have me. Once I was ashamed of who I was. I invited shame into my heart. I let it burn. It told me, I'm only trying to protect you, protect your vulnerability. I thanked shame dearly and stepped into my life anyway, unashamed, with shame as a lover. Once I had great sadness buried deep inside me. I invited it to come out and play. I wept oceans. My tear ducts ran dry. And I found joy right there, right at the core of my sorrow. It was heartbreak that taught me how to love. Once I had anxiety, a mind that wouldn't stop, thoughts that wouldn't be silent. So I stopped trying to silence them. And I dropped out of the mind and into the earth, into the mud, where I was held strong like a tree, unshakable, safe. Once anger burned in the depths. I called anger into the light of myself. I felt its shocking power. I let my heart pound and my blood boil. Listen to it, finally. And it screamed, respect yourself fiercely now. Speak your truth with passion. Say no when you mean no. Walk your path with courage. Let no one speak for you. Anger became an honest friend, a truthful guide, a beautiful wild child. Once loneliness cut deep. I tried to distract and numb myself. I ran to people and places and things, even pretended I was happy. But soon I couldn't run anymore, and I tumbled into the heart of loneliness. And I died and was reborn into an exquisite solitude and stillness that connected me to all things. So I was not lonely, but alone with all life, my heart one with all other hearts. Once I ran from difficult feelings, but now they are my advisors, confidants, friends, and they all have a home in me. They all belong and have dignity. I am sensitive, soft, fragile, my arms wrapped around my inner children, and in my sensitivity, power, and in my fragility, an unshakable presence. In the depths of my wounds and what I had named darkness, I found a blazing light that guides me now in battle. I became a warrior when I turned toward myself and started listening. And with that, my dear friends and soon to be friends, and I really hope we get to spend more time together. Let's stay connected. Thank you. Thank you for all the love and energy and sharing and excitement, for all that you are, for all that you're bringing into this world. So incredibly grateful and honored to walk this path with each of you. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful night. And we will put that link one more time there at the end. So I'll ask Vienna to pop that in one more time for you guys there, so you have that. Thank you so much. Yes. And thank you all. Much love to all of you. And I'm so excited to see what we continue to create together. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful night.